everyone. It's Whitney, and I want to welcome you to Ladies Takeover Empowerment Podcast, where we're all about helping you to succeed and become the very best version of yourself. So, on tonight, I'm super, super excited to have some really good friends of mine to join us for season 7 relationship edition of Ladies Takeover Part 2. Yes, and this is going to be episode 3. I have some really good friends of mine and my husband's that is joining me on this evening. So please help me welcome none other than Dr. Lamar and Lady Keisha McIntyre. Hi, family. How are you?
Hey, going good.
I'm so excited that you guys are with me on tonight. So thank you so much for taking time out of both of your busy schedules. I know, Keisha, you're in school right now, and Dr. Lamar, you're in school as well. You guys are both very, very busy. So I just want to say thank you for taking time out because on tonight, we are going to help some people that are tuning in. So let's not waste time. Just kind of jump right in there. Whoever wants to start first is completely fine. But tell us a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, how long you've been married, all that type of jazz.
Okay. Um, we both are from Washington, D.C., born and raised. We have been married this year for 15 years.
Nice.
It's been 15 years. This May 8th will be 15 years. We have 2 daughters, 22, Kiera, and 12, Essence.
Beautiful.
Kiera has graduated from Bowie State University.
BSU.
She now lives in you're right. She now lives in North Carolina on her own. She's doing excellent in the banking world. Essence goes to St. Augustine Catholic School. She's doing excellent, straight A student. Yes, I'm in college. I go to UDC. I'm studying for my AA right now in education.
Nice.
But then I will be furthering my education. I'll be continuing for my BA in education.
Nice. Okay. Excuse me, ma'am. Beautiful. Would you like to add anything, Bishop?
No, I think she summed it up.
He actually finished his doctorate. So yeah.
You finished?
He's no more in school. He's helping me.
I'm done.
I didn't know you finished. I missed that. Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. Excuse me. That is no easy foot at all. So congratulations.
Thanks. I feel like I've been in here forever.
I'm sure.
But it's done. So
very good. Congratulations to you. Congratulations. So listen, let's talk. You said how long you've been married. You said where you both are from. Tell us how you guys met. Like, how did all of that come about?
Well, it's funny that was one of the questions because a lot of people have asked us, like, where did you all meet? Did you all meet at at a revival, at church? They always put that we met at church. We'd be like, no, we actually met at a club.
What?
We met at Club Meet. Yes. Dancing on the dance floor to backyard.
Shut up. Did not know that.
And, right. Tell the story about how we met and then how God allowed us to go back to worship where we met at.
Yeah, that is the irony. We met at Club Elite off of Brinkley Road. And so I actually used to work worked there part-time when I was with the police department years ago. And I went there one night and saw her there, and then I went to talk to her. So after that, years later, when we went back to church and started the church, what have you, we moved. This is like our third location on Brinkley Road, and we were worshiping under Club Elite, which had been closed. And I had a few people in the community who remembered me and would come down to the church and see me and things. So it was it's ironic how God kind of like just turned it on.
Wow, that's cool, actually. That's real cool.
So a lot of people we met at church. We were like, nope.
Met in the club.
We met in the club. We switched dance partners, as we say.
Come on. That is too funny. That is too funny. Okay. So make that transition. You went from the club to how did you get from the club to ministry and church and all that stuff?
So we've been in church all our life. And I think there comes a time where, it came a time for me where I needed to just find myself, because, being raised in church, I think it's the same word, because she was in church all her life. And it's some irony in that too, because her home church, which is called Berean Baptist Church, is a historical church in Washington. Come to find out that my mother's side of the family are literally all native Washingtonians, slave. And so my fourth great or fifth great grandfather, I have the picture, the obituary, attended her home church. And so I'm standing up preaching in this church, not knowing that I have ancestry attached to this church.
Wow.
So we pretty much raised in the church, but it's just time. You just got to find yourself, take some time. I called it vacation. So eventually, as I begin to explore and answer the call, that's when I had to go back and submit and just do what God has asked me to do.
Yeah, I understand completely. And if I'm not mistaken, you wrote a book, right? On marriage?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that and the importance of that book, how it plays a part in your relationship, and as well as how important communication is in your marriage.
Okay. So, let me see. That book, I had to write another one. I had to do something different. It was really just, it's been about, I guess, 10 years ago that I wrote this book called Marriage Made Sweet. And I compared things such as communication, love, and things to ingredients that you would put into a cake to make a cake. And those ingredients such as communication, we have learned is critical to every marriage. It's almost if we had to relate it to our walk with God, right? If God cuts communication or you cut communication with God, you're lost.
Come on.
Okay. And so there's no direction, there's no life.
Yeah.
Truth. There's no guidance. So, communication in marriage is critical.
Help us, Keisha, because did you guys always communicate? Is this always the thing? How do you feel like how important was communication for you guys?
Like going back towards the book, I love the book. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. When I know of people that's about to get married or already married, I do give them the book to read. And the one thing they do talk about a lot in the book is communication. I don't know which I'm trying to think what part of the book was about communication, the eggs, or I forgot which part of the book was about communication, but it was awesome. With us, with communicating, communication is a big part of a marriage. We were not always communicating, but we had, like he said, we had to learn each other and how to communicate with each other to make it work or to understand each other better. So I think our communication has gotten better between the both of us.
So, here's the thing for me. We've been, Bishop and I will have been married for, I think, 19 years. Had to think for a second. Don't tell him I told you. Um, I think it's 19 years. And I realized that this might sound bad, but the longer we've been married, it seems like there's times the less we communicate.
Mhm.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I think that we know our spouses. We think that we know what they know or what they would do or what they would say. So you make a whole lot of assumptions that, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I don't need to tell them. So especially when it comes to being a pastor, which you are, um, how important is it for you, Keisha, that he communicates to you what's happening? Because are you intricately involved in ministry, or is it more Lamar that's doing the ministry?
It's more of him that's doing the ministry. I feel like if it's something within the ministry that's going on and he needs to communicate it with me, he will. But if it's something like he knows that I probably won't understand because he's been in ministry or with the bishop and pastor title longer than I have, then he would know how to handle their certain situations better than I would. He would
That's
ask,
good.
he does ask me like, well, what do you think or what are your thoughts? And then when I tell him, he's like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. So yeah, I can go further with the situation or the issue um by from what I have said. Because
Mhm.
two minds are what is it, two minds are better than one. So but yeah, so he does involve me in certain situations, but some of the situations he will handle on his own because he has the knowledge and stuff to take care of what's going on.
How do you feel about that, Lamar?
So I think she's right, and I think I guess let me see. I've been pastoring now 16 years, so it's not new, but it's not still long. And so, excuse me. What I learned is that some things, well, you need your spouse as a pastor. If you have a spouse, you need your spouse. Okay, every spouse is not called to be a preacher, whether it's if it's a female pastor with a male spouse or a male pastor with a female spouse. But I've learned that her opinion and her thoughts are valuable.
Yeah.
And to leave it out could possibly cost you later. And I learned that. And so, of course, there are things, such as certain types or certain kinds of counseling, if confidentiality between certain persons,
Yeah.
things, but we can't discuss. But I run just about everything by her, and she's more active in ministry than she's actually said. I mean, she does a flyer, she's doing this, she's doing that. She's picked up a major role, and she's really my confidant now, because when I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I'm mad, when people don't get to see that, and I'm saying, this is, she's like, hey, she's giving advice, or she'll say, have you thought about this? And I'll go, I never thought about that. So I'm grateful because I think together we are growing in ministry and we have grown in ministry. So it's actually a good thing. And
he's pushing me outside of my comfort zone because I'm the back. I'm the one in the back. I like you said, I do the flyers. I do like I like to sit in the back, but you know, with my husband being who he is, and known in the church world, or not even the church world, but in the world period, um, a lot of people expect me to like do more, or
Yeah.
come out of this comfort zone. And one thing, like co-pastor has said, don't let nobody like rush me into doing something. It's going to
Hmm.
come easily, and it has come easily. And like Bishop, his dad, I think he was the first one who gave me the 7 last words.
Yeah.
I think he gave me the 7 last words, and I've done the 7 last words, and I'm doing more in the church now. So it is growth.
I think that what's important to understand, just seeing couples that are in ministry together, especially when you have a very dominant person like Bishop McIntyre or Dr. McIntyre, is that people tend to compare their spouse and expect for some reason the spouse to be similar to how the pastor is. And I run across that all the time. I can be personable, I can be friendly, but that's not necessarily my first trait. If you were to meet me at home, I'm not outgoing. I'm not the person to start the conversation. Like, I don't just jump start a conversation with strangers, you know? So, like, I have learned and I have developed and I have had a whole lot of personal development. But over the years, I think a lot of my apprehension initially, when people would say stuff, I felt like they were tattling on me, like they were telling a husband. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, I am grown and I am not him. And so,
Right.
and it's almost like, how you're like kind of like you're almost like a child in a way, like you're rebelling. So because you didn't say something, now I'm really not about to do whatever you thought I was going to do, because you just done acted like you was telling on me. I don't know what is going on. If God was working on me, you just kind of erased all of that. So it's really,
Right.
really difficult when being in ministry and being in marriage. And what you guys have just communicated is so important for people to hear. And I hope that they're hearing where I'm going with this, is that you said something that you guys are growing together. So it brings me to my next point. What ways do you believe that your spouse has made you better? Because there can be times when, if you are not communicating and you guys are not growing together, that you can actually grow apart and things get worse rather than better. So what do you think, or how do you think your spouse has made you better?
Well, Lamar has definitely made me better. Like the first thing I say, he has pushed me outside of my comfort zone when it comes to church. But then also when it comes to just everyday life, like I would not be in school right now if it wasn't for Lamar. Like I would not be in school, and it's many times that I've wanted to give up and said, "School is not for me. I can't do this." But he said, babe, you got this. I'm here for you. I'll help you any way that you can, but you cannot quit. He's the one who's pushing me to continue for my BA. And then he was like, you never know. You keep going, get that master's, because it's, we have, Essence that's looking, up to us, or looking up to me
Yeah.
as a role model. And then she sees like, my sister did it, my dad did it. Now my mom is doing it. So it's like I can do it.
Yeah.
So Essence is already talking
Yeah.
about college. So, he has made me a better person.
That's
Yeah.
great. That is awesome. What about you, Bishop?
So I'd say that Keisha has definitely made me better. in um, so many ways. One, understanding that together, not individually, but together, you can pretty much conquer anything. Okay. We have
Mm,
faced life difficulties, and throughout them all, we stood together. And when we began to stand together, and when we came together in the middle of difficulties, we survived it. I think there's like a
mm,
proverb that says, like if you go along, and I'm unquoting because I don't know exactly, but it says something like, if you go alone, you can get the job done, but if you go together, you can get, I guess, more done, something like that. And she's made me better that way, and in just my life in general, because I mean, hey, look, I'm not a feminine dude. Um, there are things that I just don't understand. I mean, she plans trips, she does all of the feminine things, run a house. I mean, all those things that I look and go, I couldn't do that. You know,
Mhm.
she does. So, I mean, I would say, just in general, respecting womanhood even the more, now that my mother is gone. Uh,
Yeah.
she has caused me to just be a better man, as well as respecting women, and understanding them a lot more. So I think just
Mm.
overall, you know.
That's good. That's really, really good. You said something, respecting women. How does it feel to be the only man in the house full of women when I know how I feel to be the only woman in the house full of men? So
It's
tell
reversed.
us. Yes.
Yeah, never thought about that, right? So for me, I guess you get perks out of the deal. I it's like, man, y'all don't understand. Listen, all right, can I just be 100? All right, can I just be good? Listen, I get hounded if a toilet seat is left up.
I'm sure.
I destroy. I'm talking from essence to the bells just go off. It's like a fire bell, it just goes off. But it's crazy that I be walking around blaming on other people. I didn't do that. You did it. You know what I'm saying? So it's difficult. Okay. But then I get some perks. I get my own
Mm,
space, and things like that. So it's just, I guess, something that I'm used to, because recently they went down to see our daughter Kiera in
mhm.
North Carolina, and I was like, okay, I got 3 good days. By day 2, I'm starting to I could sleep.
Oh.
I went to church. It was like, I mean, somebody do something with me. I don't want to
Oh.
hear. So it's a blessing, but at the same time, it can be a little difficult. But I guess I'm used to
That is funny. That is hilarious. Man, let me tell you, I wish that somebody would listen to me. I get ganged up on all the time. Nobody listens to me. Don't nobody listen to me.
Do y'all have
It's
any
so
animals?
sad. Uh,
Do y'all have any animals?
no, we used to. We actually used to have a dog, a cane corso mixed with a pit bull.
Was it a boy?
She
Oh,
No, it
just
was a girl.
okay.
And yeah, and she got so big, the boys would be trying to walk her. She was walking them. She was just huge. And then come to find out, we were all allergic to the dog.
Oh
So
wow.
we had to give her away. Yeah, we gave her away. So, and she actually passed not too long ago, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, but um man, I wish that I could have a dog. I wish I could have something. You know what I mean? And then
it.
people ask me, do I want to try for more kids to have girl? We are way past that. Like that's not even an
We
option.
get that question all the time too. They say
Mhm.
you are not too old to have more. I'm like, even if we do, it's gonna be a girl. Like I just feel
Right.
Right, it's gonna be a girl for us, and then for you, it'll be another boy. It's like
Exactly.
we're at that age where Essence can be home by herself,
Yep.
or be with her sister, or travel with us. Us starting
Mm-hmm.
all over again with pampers
Okay.
and models, like
I can't. I can't. I
no,
can't.
got God
No.
kids for that, but no.
Yes, that I give back. I give him back.
Right.
And every time they come over, I be like, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's like to have little kids and then they in my bed and stuff. I'm like, I can't watch what I want on TV. No,
Yeah.
I'm good.
And we're just so
I'm
used
good.
to Essence just being here. Like we don't
Yeah.
we just moved to a home. So when we have visitors over and it's like other kids, we be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we love y'all, but it's like it's noisy in here. Like we're so used to quiet and Essence, and
Mm-hmm.
Essence be fed up too. Like if Essence is, she has fun with her cousins and stuff, but when enough is enough, she ready to go.
She ready to go. Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand. Well, okay, well, that's a great point. Let's go to how do you deal with conflict? There can be conflict within your home. There can be conflict dealing with outside conflict and bringing that conflict inside the home, and then there can be conflict with amongst you all or in ministry within the church. So how do you two deal with conflict?
Excuse me. I would say one of the things we have said is we try not to go to sleep angry or
Okay.
the next morning angry.
Okay.
We've matured to the point now that if we are not talking with each other but to each other and no one's listening, we just let it cool off. And then you could say later that night, maybe later on in the day, or if it's late at night, that very next morning, we're able to talk about it. And
Gotcha.
then apologize. We're apologizing more. Hey,
That's good.
what do I need to do to change it? More listening. So dealing with conflict now, it's not just whatever and it's over. It's let's resolve this. Let's fix this.
That's good.
I know for myself, I try to make sure that I go back and I'll go, hey, I apologize if I did this wrong or said this wrong, or what can I do to change it? So those are things that I notice how we are dealing with conflict more, and making sure that we handle it right then and there.
That's good.
Yeah, I can agree as well. Not going to bed angry or of an unresolved issue, to talk about it, and dealing with a lot of patience to be able to sit down and talk about the situation. And sometimes even if it don't work, what works for us is sometimes we text each other like what we're thinking, because reading it instead of hearing it, because if you hear it, it could come off as if we still have an attitude or something that's going on, or we're not trying to resolve it. But if you got your phone and you're reading what you're feeling and apologizing or whatever you're communicating through text, it's still communication. And it's sometimes we get it, we understand it better, and then when we get face to face, then we talk about what we text each other. So that works
That's a great
for
point.
us as well.
That's a great point because
I
Keisha,
just like the
let me tell you something. When I get a text from Bishop, I am reading the text in his voice like I think he's saying it. So, and I did already decided what he meant by what he was saying when I reading the text. And he'd be like,
Yeah.
that is not what I said. He'd be like, you're crazy. That is not what I said. Go back and read what I said.
Word from word.
Right. He's made it something totally different. That's not what I meant at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
100%. So
Yeah,
when it comes to conflict, help people with this part. Are there times when there are outsiders that have caused conflict within your marriage, and how did you handle those situations?
Um, I think in any marriage or relationship, there's always someone on the outside who has an opinion about something that they don't understand what's going on, or they try to bring it into your relationship or your marriage. So yes, we have had, people try to come in between, or try to bring drama or conflict within our marriage. But they don't live with us. They don't live behind the closed doors. They don't have to, go on without the daily lives that we have to see each other every day. So we try not. I mean, we try to talk about what the person has said, and it's our marriage, so we deal with it the way we deal with it, and try not to listen to it. If it's positive advice, we'll probably take it on and see how it works. But if it's not, then we just let it go and deal with it how we deal with it. You're not supposed to let anyone into your marriage. Yeah. Because the
100%.
conflict becomes worse sometimes when you do. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me say this. So, Dr. Curry, I've discovered for me and for our marriage that the worst people and the greatest liars are in the church.
Woo.
My friends outside the church who don't go to church, they cool. It's the people in the church,
wow,
who have come to church, worship the church, members of the church, or people, for example, people say, I need prayer, can you pray? Then now, especially now, I go, hey, this person said this. They told her something completely different. She'll go, this person said that. I'll say, huh? They told me something completely different. The controversy has always been from people in the church.
Yeah.
And it is healing to me. So how I make sure that I try to avoid conflict with people as far as coming into marriage is one, if it's someone who's trying to tell me something personal, whatever, I'll go, hey, listen, my wife, I need to talk to this person, or she'll recommend a person. Hey, this is what this is. Keep an open line of communication. And, if it's something of high confidentiality, okay. But then at the same time, she's also very aware of what's what. If I feel any ill intentions, I'll call it out. I just make it known. Nope. What happened. So, that's some of the things that, just putting in, barriers, and trying to protect, I guess, myself and us from people in the church. I had to move up on the screen so people can see my face in the church. Vicious. Church people vicious.
And do you really think that it's just church people, or okay, you're a doctor. I know that you've done studies. So is there a spiritual component to this, to where people, sometimes I really feel like people like on assignment, like you have literally been sent here to try to bring a wedge in my marriage, or in my family, or in my children. Like you sought us out, and then you're lurking, trying to find ways to cause division or to cause strife. And people will literally watch your moves. They'll watch how you interact with your spouse. They will study you to see what, if you say something, how your wife responds, or how when your wife says something that she responds to you, what is funny to you, what's not funny. Like, people will sit there, they will study these things, and then they will try to use it against you to come in, and you can only have been sent by the enemy, because what is your point? What are you here for?
Just to see a marriage fail. That's what they're there for.
Huh?
Yeah.
Come on.
I think Doc Curry, it's funny because we have a similar background. We both were raised as PKs.
Yes.
So we watched our parents. We were, people looked up to us as, children of the pastor, to, high expectations.
Yeah.
But then also, as a pastor yourself, you've married a bishop. These high expectations are only higher. And so the good and the success of where you are, the things you've accomplished, the respect of the community for you, people attach themselves to that.
Yeah.
And they see in you what they could not find in them, or what they could never do. And so sometimes, like you said, I do agree with you. I think there is a spiritual assignment that people don't even know that they are sent by the enemy. The devil is the master deceiver. Master deceiver. Bishop Curry's always saying this. I was cracking up. He don't come with a fork and a red, right?
Right.
The devil comes in the form of light. He was one of the most beautiful angels, and I think people forget.
Wow. Yeah.
And so he comes in the form of help. Ease. What do you need? What do you need? How can I be there for you? Yet people not even knowing that they are being used sometimes. Now, some do, but some I don't think know. That's why I think it's our job to be able to sift him out and to be able to call it out for some people.
That's good. That's good.
You are absolutely 100% correct. All of what you said, I was like, yeah. Some people just sit, and then some people don't even know that they're being used.
Yeah, I agree. You're absolutely right. I think it's a combination, and we're here because I want people to, in their relationships, to see that when you get to longevity, and when we're getting past 5, 6 years, past 10 years, that you got to put some work in, because challenges come, things come. And so it's not an easy roll off my shoulder. Nothing bothers me. Things happen. And then when you add another layer of being in ministry, that's a whole nother component. And sometimes, like you said, people are looking up to you. They're like, oh, I wish I was Keisha. She's so amazing. Her husband is so amazing. But you don't really know what all of that entails for her to stand by your side and to be that strong woman of God that you need. Because everybody doesn't qualify for that position. Even though they want that position, they don't qualify for it. So tell us, what quality do you love most or value most about your spouse, and why?
I think the quality that I love most about my spouse, I would say that she's really slow to speak. She has a gift of observation. She watches everything. And I love that, because whereas I may not be watching, I may be watching something else or listening in, honing, or something catch my ear, she's watching everything. And it's been many times she said, you didn't see that? You didn't hear that? This person said this, that, and I'd be like, oh, wow. So I think that's a quality, not only just for ministry, but even when we are just going about our regular lives.
Right.
Extremely observant. And that is like I so love that, and have a great respect for that.
That's beautiful.
With me, I love his determination. When he is set to get something done, he's going to get it done. As prime example, when he had to finish his doctoral and he had to write a dissertation, he stayed up all night. He did not sleep at all. It was the next morning when he had to take Essence to school. So he was determined to get it done. And that's like, and as like he said, as he stated, it's in the church and outside the church. He's determined to get anything done. If he has a goal that he's reaching for, he's going to accomplish it. He's going to accomplish it no matter what, sweat and all. He's going to accomplish it. And like you said, for our quality with each other, like we worked together. Like he was determined that we was gonna buy a home. We was gonna become homeowners. And that's what he did. He stayed up, paperwork. I need this, I need that, I need you to send me this, I need you to send me that. And we was right on it. So his determination is what I love about him. He's on
That's
it.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Let me tell you something. That doctoral degree, that dissertation is no joke. No joke.
No joke.
Uh,
It's no joke.
I'm so glad it's over. I don't know what to do with myself. That thing, first of all, if someone had told me it was what it was when I had started, I probably wouldn't have did it. Like I thought that it was a continuation of my master's. I had no idea, but
Right.
once I got into it, I was like, I'm here now. I can't stop. I'm not
Right.
a quitter. I'm not a quitter. So it took me cool shout out to you, but it took me like 5 years. It was no joke.
Yeah. And shout out to you. I mean, look, get it done. And I think that's a part for me of, I guess, just a combination of life. Life is comprised of projects. And if you're going to be successful in life, you have to accomplish those projects. If you're on a job, you can't open certain pieces of work and leave them undone,
Right.
because work doesn't get done. Accomplish it. So that's how I kind of see it. But I'm grateful to my wife who supported me in this process. Now getting ready to make some more moves that will ease the burdens for her, which is soon. But if it wasn't for her, support, then I would not have been able to do it. So, but yeah, and congrats, Dr. Curry. You guys are amazing. You and Bishop.
Oh, thank you. I
Love you.
appreciate that. We love you guys too. Well, listen, you guys have been awesome. Absolutely awesome. I hope something that was said helped everyone on tonight. So I'm going to give you one last question for you guys to answer. You guys can have some time to think about it. But what advice would you give couples that have married and they are saying, you know what, I want to have longevity in my marriage. So what advice do both of you think that if you had the opportunity to go back when you first get married, what advice would you give yourself?
Um, have patience. Have patience. Still have the communication. Continue to keep God in your marriage. God first, because without God, we are where we at because of God. So we just keep God in your marriage and first, and everything else will fall in place. That's what I would tell them.
Nice. Doctor?
Okay. I would say this. If you want longevity in your marriage, do what you do to get longevity out of a car. Maintenance it. You get oil changes and all of that good stuff. Do it with your marriage. From day one, you should already have marriage counseling. 2, 3, when you're on the honeymoon, get a checkup. Go to counseling. Counseling is not only for when things go awry. I would encourage you to go to counseling. I think as Black Americans and as Americans now, we're a lot further than where we were back in the day when people would call the counselor shrink, or the shrink, and oh, something's wrong with you. No, when things are well, get a checkup. Get a checkup, because that helps to prevent a lot of what you may need to, or a lot of what you may have to face, and you didn't have to if you would have did a checkup. Last thing I would say, as he said, communicate and be open. Communication and being open is critical, because when you do not communicate with each other and when you're not open with each other, you're going to end up being open and communicating with someone else. Ooh. So be open and communicate with your spouse first. That would be my advice.
Good. That's very, very good. Thank you, Dr. and Lady McIntyre. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal. I love you guys so much. So everyone, thank you again for joining us. This has been Ladies Takeover Empowerment Podcast, Season 7, Episode 3, Marriage and Ministry. I hope you enjoyed my guest, and I will see you next week for Episode 4. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time. See ya.